Hello and welcome to part 2 of this two-part video tutorial series regarding preparing your application for the Professional Licensure Program. In this particular video, we will be covering how to access and fill out your application. To access your application, you will want to begin by logging in to your WU portal. Once you have logged in, you will want to scroll down until you find an icon that says TK20. Once you have located the TK20 icon, you will want to click on it. Once the app has launched, you will want to navigate over to the left-hand menu and click on Applications. Then you will select Create New Application. From the drop-down, you will want to select the undergrad and post-bac program licensure application. Select Next, and you should be presented with the application. To start off, you will answer the 3 personal background questions. Following the personal background information, you will be asked to input some program information. Common questions here include how to differentiate between being an undergraduate student and a post-bac student. Undergraduate means that at the time of applying to the Professional Licensure Program that you have not yet earned a bachelor's degree. Post-bac means that at the time of applying you have already earned your bachelor's degree. Something additional to note about the program information section of the application is, in addition to the 5 questions seen in this video, if you happen to be watching this and you are applying for a fall cohort, there will also be an additional question here that asks if you are wanting to be part of the flexible cohort. Next is information regarding your endorsements. You will start off by using the drop-down to select your specific endorsement, whether that be early childhood elementary, middle high, etc. For the elementary middle concentration students, you will use the drop-down to select your concentration area. Then for the middle high students, you will also be able to select your concentration area from the list here. Following choosing your concentration information, you will also answer if you are wanting to finish your ESOL endorsement during the licensure program. Next, you will be asked to input some educational history information. Common questions for this section of the application include how to find and calculate the different GPAs that you are required to input. To answer this question, I will go ahead and show you how to find each of these different GPAs, and I will also include a link to a GPA calculator just in case you need to do your own calculations. To find the 3 different GPA requirements that are asked for on the application, you will need to come to your degree tracks. The first GPA requirement they ask for is your institutional GPA. To find this, you will want to navigate to the Student View section. Institutional GPA can be found here. You can copy and paste this number directly from here into your application. The second GPA they ask for is your pre-education GPA. Unlike the one I'm showing you, yours will say pre-education here and not education. The GPA can be found here to the right. This GPA is compiled of all of the Ed prefix classes that you have taken thus far, and I always recommend doing your own calculations for this GPA just because oftentimes the one listed here can be inaccurate. The third and final GPA that's asked for on the application is the concentration GPA. For those of you who have a concentration in elementary middle, your concentration will just be compiled of your focus area on your degree tracks. So for example, if you are an elementary middle student with a concentration in mathematics, the GPA for you will be compiled of your mathematics focus area on degree tracks. Again, this is a GPA that you will need to do your own calculations for. For those of you with a concentration in middle high, this GPA for you will be compiled of your entire middle high section of your degree tracks. So for example, if you are a middle high student with a concentration in social science, you will look here to the right to find the GPA. After having provided your educational history information, you will now be asked to include some information about your ARELA exams that you took. First, you will have to upload that first page of the score report that you prepared while gathering all of the different required pieces of documentation. Please note that there is some special instructions on how to name these files, so you will want to make sure before you upload them that they are named accordingly. Then for the early childhood elementary and elementary middle endorsements, you will input the scores that you received for your subtest 1 and your subtest 2. If you don't fall under this category, feel free to leave these two blank. For the elementary, middle, and middle high and PET students, you will use the drop-down to select your concentration and input the score that you received for that exam. Again, if this is not you, leave this section blank. This next section here, titled Observations, is for anyone that may have received their first 30 hours through an approved practicum, field experience, or observation course. As mentioned in part 1 of this video tutorial series, approved ed practicum, observation, or field experience courses can cover your first set of 30 hours. So if you know that you have taken one of those courses, you will document those hours by inputting the following information. This means that you do not need to request documentation for your first set of 30 hours. However, you will still need to request documentation for your second set of 30 hours. If you didn't receive your first set of 30 hours through a practicum, observation, or field experience course, you will leave this information blank, and you will just want to make sure that you have requested the proper documentation for both sets of your 30 hours. Directions for requesting your documentation can be found in part 1 of this video tutorial series. Next, you will be asked to upload some supporting documents. These are the 6 documents that were covered in the part 1 video. The application will conclude by filling out this site placement survey. The point of this survey is to help them place you in the school that you will do your student teaching. As you are working on your application, I'd also like to point out that there is the option to save your progress as you go, which means that you can come on and do things when you have the time, save your progress, and then come back at a later time to pick up where you left off. You just want to remember that you actually click save before you close the application. If not, you will lose your progress and you will have to start over from scratch. Once you have filled out the application in its entirety and completed the site placement survey and you are ready to submit your application, your final step will be to provide your electronic signature. You will do so by providing your initials, just typing them in here, and dating the electronic application. Then you will want to hit the submit button. Please remember to submit the application by the deadline, as no late submissions will be accepted. For application deadlines and information on what happens after submitting your application, please visit the Advising and Program Admittance website.